Well, let's move along to the next speaker, Martynas. Martina works for Gold Coast City Council, and he's got some amazing results to share with us as well. So thanks, Marty.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Brad, for introduction. My story probably wouldn't be as impressive as size. I'm a simple man, and I have just a simple story to tell. So my name is Martynas. Originally, I'm from Lithuania. I live in Australia over 7 years now. I travel all the world. Probably live more than in my own country now. I work at the Gold Coast City Council, and I'm a senior geospatial surveyor. What that means, I basically work mostly with laser scanners, and we do some analytical work. So my story is very simple. I said, how did I got my Emlid GPS, and how the story I'm just gonna briefly. So when we start working, originally we used to have one of our instruments is RIEGL VZ400i, and as you can see, it uses a GPS antenna on top, and we use this. Originally, it came with a Leica GS16 in GPS, and it was working. It was fine, and then suddenly one day we announced that 3G network is going to be shut down. Unfortunately, that's an old instrument. All GPS, it doesn't have like what we do. I work for government. The budgets are very tight. You need to plan in advance. There's nowhere, I'm basically in the trouble. What I do now? And my friend just literally said, oh, why don't you try, the Emlid? It's a really good price, I was like, oh, really? Because, we quoted from Leica, all these good brands and stuff, and it's just really expensive. And I'm just, oh my gosh, we're not gonna find money where I'm gonna trouble. And then I just looked at Emlid and I just couldn't believe how cheap it is. I was like, what's the catch? It can't be right, What's the difference? I really am thankful for Mangoesmapping all this, that literally I just contact them. Look, I told my story and my problems. And I say, you know what? We'll send you an instrument, just test it out. And I'm like, really? That's great. So they sent me for a week. I tested out, I connected, it worked fine, no issues. As you can see, no cables required. We just use Bluetooth, which is even better than before. Accuracy works fine. I had more than a week, and what we do? Okay, let's try static. Let's try with my colleagues on 12D field. It worked and stuff. I'm just great. And what happened is, obviously I managed to get it because probably we just couldn't buy on credit card. The amount was so good that we didn't have to go loops and request and all this. So it worked really, really well for me, and that's how I ended up with Emlid GPS. Obviously the laser is a bit unique. We use it for the kinematic capture. What I do mostly works on the beaches. As you can see, as you may know, we had a bit of weather, unpredictable weather conditions, and it's really ruined our beaches. Beautiful, so we try to monitor and maintain them. So it's quite important to get them really good and accurate data, and quickly and often. What it does, so basically we use a kinematic scanning, and maybe I will explain a bit more how do I use them in this. So as you can see, we have an ATV setup. We have a scanner on top. Originally tried to use Emlid scan GPS, but then obviously it's a bit different technology, so we had to purchase RIEGL GPS antenna. And how they added up, and I'm just literally, okay, so I have a free GPS now in my back, in my car. I always keep with me. I don't have to share with my colleagues, not like, expensive GPS. We can't afford to have everyone, so they usually have to share. But because it's just basically almost like my personal now, and I just keep always in my car, and it's very compact, very light. So it works great for me. And how do I utilize it? Even if I capture data with a specified RIEGL equipment, I still use GPS. It's for my QA. Basically, when I do my scanning, all this, I need to make sure another data source is that it matches up, or it's within the accuracy ranges we're looking after. Just a quick shots maybe in here, what we do. Maybe I can actually change my screen. So yeah, this is one of the software as we're using RIEGL, and one of the projects we do, it's a Currumbin. As you can see, it's quite a big area. We drive it and we capture it like in 40 minutes. As a QA working, sometimes we have a permanent buildings and structures which we can overlay and compare it. But if I do it first time, or I don't trust network, or I may have something issues, or where we come in locations where there's basically not really much of surfaces or structures I can pick up, that's where it comes really handy, that GPS. I just come out of ATV afterwards and I do my profile lines. And then I compare both two different data sets. One come from GPS, one come from other equipment. I'm just looking if there's no errors, so we get really good results. So it works really well for me. Another bigger screen as well, which is another project we're working on. That's actually from the surface paradise all the way goes to the spit. And it's just great. We extract it, we get the surfaces, we get the DEMs, and that's where all the calculations of the volumes, how the sand moves. Let's switch off. A bit laggy. Yeah. As you can see, the benefit with point cloud, you can capture a lot of data very quickly, but the downside, it picks up a lot of unnecessary things, people, noises, and then you can clean out. But final product is actually the DEM or surfaces, and that's what it's using for volume calculations, sand movement, cut profiles, and the rest of it. And that's how we utilize point cloud data. Is actually can do more than that. It can be for other structures, and so it's very useful. We have a very quick method to capture, accurate, and deliveries. And as I said, Emlid originally worked me as a GPS on the scanner, which I used to do static scans, but then we start using a bit more kinematic or mobilizer scanning, which is even better. And I still find uses with it. It's not only one use cases I can think about it, because obviously when I got this, all my colleagues started noticing, oh, what is this? How do you use it? And I just quickly show it and stuff. And as I said, one of the projects I could quickly speak about or tell about my story, how it really worked well. It's a construction site at Karamban seawall. That's the project we just scanned and I showed it use. So basically it was a construction site, and we have a foreman and construction there where they were building a rock wall, and they had to set it out and check the elevations against the model surfaces. The requirement was 300 mil accuracy, which is way more than GPS can achieve than that. And I was like, oh, I can get you like 20 mil, 30 mil, 10 times better than you expect. And we were like, oh wow. The problem was always, because either you had to have a surveyor on site full time where they put some stones and then he goes, measures, and then checks and all this, which was sometimes a bit annoying because we had other sites, we have limited resources with people, you arrange, you come there, maybe they're not ready and stuff. So, and I was like, my colleague says, why? I said, why don't you buy this GPS? So cheap. It's gonna pay off in you a couple of weeks, the way you're spending on us and stuff. And I just showed them how to use it with their phone. You just connect it. And the best part of it, really, I like the web app. For me, it's the best feature of it, because what it gives us, we literally upload drawings, thin surfaces online, and they just, oh, that's the project I send you, use this project. He goes in and he knows that how to set out. It's very easy to use, and they can do set out themselves and compare the levels and accuracies, and they can just work around it. So for us, worked really well. And more colleagues starting noticing. I know different departments starting looking into this GPS, because it's just, for GIS data capture and stuff, it just works for the fraction of the price we used to, pay and stuff. And I'm gladly, like, personally, the money we spent it was reliable, and I'm just loving it. So that's why I'm glad to share my story. I'm not get paid to advertise. I think Brad already did that good job on this, but I'm just thought, like, I can share my story, and that's what it is. Quick features, what I think about this from perspective of a surveyor, maybe. Obviously, we're comparing to expensive GPS units. I can tell the price because it's reflection, but it's probably 7 times more, 8 times maybe more than you buy it. When you buy equipment, yes, it's good, but it comes with a proprietary batteries, which means like only special batteries you need to purchase from them. You can't reuse them. They're quite expensive, stuff. Same with cables, chargers. You have to use a special logger when it comes up, pay licenses, subscriptions, and all stuff, which is another cost on top of that. And it's actually quite difficult to justify or buy it and all stuff. With this one, it's so simple to use, very intuitive graphic user that, as I told you, I showed to no surveyors or people, engineers, foremen, construction guys and stuff. And it was so easy for them to use that it quickly picked up and there's no issues. Obviously, I really like it. Maybe it's not at the beginning was not rich in features, as I said, that more expensive equipment comes up with way more functionality and all this. But what is really, really good that it's very rapidly developed, new features introduce it. And actually you can make a request and they look at it and they're actually going to introduce that request, which is really great. That's what I found it really good because it's rare to find where, you get what you get. There's no, people don't listen to you because everyone's using a bit differently or have some features to use it. And so far, my experience was like really good. As I said, the feature we actually looked at it, where you can stake to the thin surface. That's exactly what we used for, and it just worked perfectly. And it was just like, wow, it just came week before we actually needed to use it. And I was like, wow, that's perfect. And that's why it worked for those construction guys really well. And as I said, the most appreciated feature is web app. We can sync it, we can download. I can actually look at how they lively pick up points, which is really, really good. SD cards or something, the data wouldn't be lost because it's a backup as well. And as I said, you can export in a couple of formats, which very uniform and use in different softwares and all this. Just to conclusion as quickly, I think that GPS is one of the essential equipment tools in surveying, and the Emlid RS3 is just great for value of money, not only for surveyors, but for a broader spectrum of professionals, engineers, foremen, construction works. And to be honest, even a random person can buy it and just start picking up points and stuff as a hobby. It's just great tool. And as I said, for the price, the range of the price that it guesses is just enables to use that accurate data, which is great for engineering and anything. So as I said, my story is quite short. I don't use as much maybe because I would love to, but I still find the ways to utilize it. And I always keep it with me. It's a very small, compact thing. I take it. Sometimes I need to find a PM, permanent marker or something, and they usually covered or something. I don't know. I just pop up quickly, put the coordinates, and just take out and just finds me location. Same, very many use cases you can find out because GPS is such a useful tool. And as I said before, you couldn't afford it. You couldn't think about it. That you could maybe buy these toy ones as well, but for the price where you get you 20 mil accuracy, to even 1 centimeter sometimes, if you use the base and close and stuff, that's just amazing. And as I said, so many use cases you can think about it. And it's just great. As I said, I'm really happy with my product. I'm happy with and the service is great as well. It's a bit hard to find a good service in Australia, but so far my experience was very good. I hope they're going to keep up with that. So yeah, thank you.